We are gearing up for two major winter storms to bring heavy snow across the United States. First, as we go for the next couple of days through Thanksgiving, and then another major winter storm after Thanksgiving. The second one could be the biggest one here of the season thus far. We're going to be walking you through both major winter storms and the timing and how much snow you can expect, the impacts it will bring, as well as much more on the weather pattern as we go into December. So thank you all for joining here on this Tuesday evening. Today is November the 25th, 2025. My name is Hunter. Subscribe to the channel if you like informative, straightforward weather forecasts. We provide those across Canada, the United States, and the tropics during tropical weather season. Of course, like the video, share it, hype it, and also follow me on Facebook for more quick weather updates that are informative. The Facebook link is going to be in the description down below the video. So let's get into the forecast here. Here's our first winter storm that's moving across the eastern Dakotas and Minnesota, already dropping snowfall up to an inch per hour snow rates, actually moving into western Minnesota as we speak. Rainfall here across the eastern United States, just simply too warm this evening for any snowfall or anything like that, wintry like. But as we go through the next couple of hours here, going into Wednesday morning, that snow is going to wrap up here. Notice the tight isobars here with the snow in blue up into Wisconsin. That means the Duluth area, Rhinelander down there toward La Crosse, and even the Wisconsin Dells area Wednesday morning could be in for a wind-driven snow. So make sure to take it slow out on the roadways there as we go through Wednesday morning if you have any Thanksgiving travel plans. And then it's going to turn into a Great Lakes event here with lake effect snow going into Thanksgiving Day itself as a 993 millibar low moves into Quebec. The lower the number, the stronger the low pressure. This is under 1,000 millibars, so this is a pretty strong low pressure system. Otherwise, high pressure building into the center of the country there for Thanksgiving will promise sunshine and much colder temperatures here. But here's the snowfall that we see going up through Friday morning on November 28th, and you can see a decent track of snow across the upper Midwest and the upper Great Lakes region here over into Ontario, Canada. These pinks you see, we could be seeing 6 to 12 inches worth of snowfall. Big lake effect snow band could be moving from Lake Superior over the upper peninsula of Michigan. That could cause some significant travel delays going through Thanksgiving itself. Monitoring the warm side of the system, we are still tracking some severe weather down here across portions of Alabama and western Georgia. Marginal slight risk of severe weather does continue with an isolated severe weather threat continuing maybe as far east as the western Carolinas overnight. I do feel, though, these thunderstorms will be losing their luster as we go through the rest of this evening, turning more into a heavy rainfall event as these storms train over the same areas over and over again through Wednesday morning. Here's the rainfall amounts, and we could be seeing 1 to 2 inches worth across portions of Alabama, Georgia, southeastern Tennessee, and then western Carolinas could be seeing that as well. Very dry across the southwest as we go through Thanksgiving and then through, post-Thanksgiving through Friday morning on November 28th. Now we look at the wind. The wind on the backside of this system going to be very strong. In fact, we actually have wind advisories already up here across the Midwest here. A lot of colors. Those are in tan. High wind warnings back across portions of South Dakota, Nebraska, and western Iowa, where winds could easily gust over 60 miles per hour. And then up into the upper Midwest, you see a lot of those navy blues, those pinks, those oranges. Those are winter weather advisories. In the pink, those are winter storm warnings. In the orange, those are blizzard warnings, where a ground blizzard may be possible as we see the cold side of that system here for the next couple of days. And here's the wind, folks. I mean, these winds are going to be howling out of the north and west over 50 miles per hour, including the Windy City. It's not called the Windy City for nothing, folks. It's going to be very windy as we go into Wednesday. And then going into Thanksgiving, we got the lake effect snow here. So if you're traveling in and around the Great Lakes region, make sure that you are weather aware that yes, there will be some snowflakes to flying around as we go through Thanksgiving. It's going to be a colder Thanksgiving than what we've been used to the last couple of years. You can see these blues and green anomalies. These are below normal temperature anomalies and a good handful of degrees below normal, as much as 20 degrees below normal here for our temperatures across the Ohio Valley for Thanksgiving. And it's going to continue to be a breezy one. So that's why those blizzard warnings are in effect. We got the snow falling, and if it's not falling, it's blowing around, right? And that is going to cause some visibility restrictions, could cause some significant travel delays, again, in and around the Great Lakes region. Now, our second winter storm could be more potent here And it definitely has the polar vortex that is digging into the United States, the tropospheric polar vortex up here into the Hudson Bay. You got a big ridge in northeastern Pacific. That's going to send cross-polar flow from Canada into the northern tier of the United States on the southern extension of the tropospheric polar vortex. So the upper Midwest going to have plenty of cold air for our next system here. And here it comes. We got a Clipper system moving in to Montana Friday morning, bringing some snow there in blue, maybe some rain at times, but look at all the snowfall starting to billow up here across the Midwest, and this looks like a doozy for places like Des Moines, Chicago, Madison, Milwaukee, Green Bay, over there into Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and Lansing, Detroit. All those big cities I just mentioned are likely seeing accumulating snow and heavy snowfall as we go starting late Friday night through Sunday around midday. And then notice there's a warm nose here in the low levels, bringing some of that rain and that rain snow line further north. So we could have a mix of precipitation here into central Illinois, central Indiana, and into Ohio as we go into Sunday morning. That system will exit across the southeastern Canadian provinces of Ontario and Quebec, and continuing to bring snowfall as we go through the 1st of December. Here's the preliminary numbers, folks. It looks like a good 6 to 9 inches of snowfall are going to be likely here, according to the European model, across the Iowa, good chunk of northern Illinois, much of central and southern Wisconsin, into lower peninsula there of Michigan, and then exiting out across southern Ontario and southern Quebec. This takes you through the morning of Monday, December the 1st, and our graphics do reflect that here. Here's my thoughts on the snowfall amounts potentially. In the lighter blue, 1 to 3 inches looks likely. In that medium blue, we're looking at 3 to 6 inches, and that is covering a large chunk of the Midwest there into the southern Great Lakes, and then 6 to 9 inches in that purple shaded color, covering most of east central Iowa, southern Wisconsin, north central Illinois, northern Indiana, far northwest Ohio, and then southwestern and southern lower Michigan. Those are the areas right now in the bullseye for the heavy 6 to 9 inches of snow, and there could even be some isolated areas with more than 9 inches if this system continues to trend stronger. We're going to be updating these graphics. You can find more of these on my Facebook page here if you do follow it. The rainfall amount is going to be heavy on the southern flank down here. Again, unfortunately, in similar areas that I've seen over and over and over again, some heavy rain, flooding concerns, East Texas, eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana, watching out for another inch or so of rainfall there. Going into the upcoming weekend, it's going to be a cold one on the backside of our system here, even colder than our first system. So the first system's laying down the groundwork. This one's really going to be pulling a lot of Arctic air down here into the Rockies and down the plains, and these could be temperature anomalies. 30 degrees below normal here for late November, and we already know our average highs are lowering here, so it doesn't take a lot to get some really bitterly cold air into the U.S. That will continue eastward once we get into the first week of December through the 8th of December there, that following Monday, and it all has to do with the tropospheric polar vortex remaining along eastern Canada near the Hudson Bay. And notice the storm track. Our southeast ridge is going to get squashed by this cold air mass here in the east, and that's going to allow our storm track to shift further south as we go into the first week of December. Notice the southeast coast region above normal precipitation. This doesn't mean it's going to be all snow, but there definitely are some chances here. The European model showing potentially a snowstorm for the mid-Atlantic and maybe the I-95 corridor as we go into the 3rd, 4th, even 5th time frame of December. Clipper systems on the backside there. The GFS model very similar, watching the Mid-Atlantic and the I-95 corridor. So don't lose hope in New York City, Boston, Hartford, Long Island. Those areas could be seeing a snowstorm potentially in early December as that colder air comes in. Obviously near the Gulf Coast, probably going to be too warm for snow, but some heavier rains are ticketed for areas like Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Gulfport, all the way up to Atlanta, Chattanooga, and Asheville, North Carolina, where a couple of inches of rainfall will be possible here from the 1st through the 8th of December. Now, once we get into the middle of the month here, or what I should think, as the 3rd week of December, we're going to be seeing the polar vortex really start to bring colder air in again once we get towards Christmas, and this could drop that snow line even further south. So some southern snow may be possible before Christmas, and our hopes of a white Christmas still prevail across the southern and southeastern U.S. going through the Christmas holiday itself. Thank you all for watching, folks. A straightforward weather forecast. We'll always do it here. Accurate accurate, reliable. Make sure to cover cover your tracks, right? Subscribe to the channel. We cover Canada, the United States, and the tropics during tropical weather season. Like the video, share it, hype it, comment down below if you have any questions. Don't hesitate to reach out. I will answer as many as I can. Thanks everybody for watching. Follow me on Facebook as well. The description is in the link to the description of that is in the down below the video. Thanks for watching, everybody. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. I got a lot of winter weather on my mind. All right. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday out there.